How would you feel if your girlfriend has a male best friend? That's a good question. I want to know what makes Maina who he is. That one thing. That one thing. What up, my friend? Welcome to the first episode, or to the first video this year. I asked my friends on Instagram, or my followers, friends, to ask me questions, and so that I can make these a Q&A. And I know what you're thinking, bro. Why would we care about your life? It's not about my life, bro. It's all about the interaction. I haven't been on this space in a while, and the best way would be to engage the audience and kind of figure out, what we can talk about. Because truthfully, I didn't have content. I have the questions here, and we're gonna go through them one by one, and hopefully your question is here. So without much further ado, welcome to Kevin's Q&A. Are you genuinely happy and at peace? If yes, how do you attain that? That's a good question. At peace, most definitely. I think at this point in my life, I'm at peace. And peace in a way that suggests I am comfortable with where I am right now. Like, I accept the place that I'm at, and I realize where I have been positioned and the responsibilities that I have. So I'm at peace with all of that. Am I happy? I think I am. Yeah, I think I am just happy in a happy way, not like excited way. I'm just happy in terms of, my heart is at peace. I'm healthy. I'm grateful. Those things I am. But now here's the interesting bit. How do you attain that? There's something that one time my dad shared with me. It was about having things that ground you. It's like, when someone asks you, how do I stop being depressed? That's a harder question than asking, how do I prevent depression? And I think it's just having habits that ground you. So similarly to the happiness, like for example, today, I woke up really late. I was tired from a shoot I was having yesterday. And then I just walked out, and walking out takes me to the moon. So those are some tiny beats that I, exercise, like walking out, going out for walks, having some me time, having some tea, those things help me do better as a human being. And so I think it's just the little habits that I put on every day, so that every day is seemingly the same in terms of being grounded. Like, if I did this little actions yesterday and they made me happy, why not translate them or bring them to this day? You know what I mean? So I think that's the best way I can answer that question. Next, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Wow. This question is tough because, you ask anyone, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And it's tough. But I always say this: if you want to see yourself in the next 5 years, look at what you're doing now. Because that is the only way that you can tell where you'll be 5 years from now. You know what I mean? So I would say where I see myself 5 years from now is just doing the same thing I'm doing, but on a much larger scale. Because whatever I'm doing slowly grows. It's like incremental. So if it's content, I'm hoping that I'll be able to monetize it more brand collaborations and endorsements, settling down with the love of my life. I am proud of you. Wow, thank you. Being among the first listeners of your podcast when it was in a closet. That's a true story. I started the podcast in my closet, and look at where we are right now. So what's this year's content? That's a very good question, my friend. I have thought about that since I took a break from podcasting. And I took a break somewhere in 2021, June, and I promised to come back in July. But things happened. I took a break because, first of all, sometimes it's exhausting to produce content every single week and keep doing it. As much as it's a hobby, you need breaks, and I felt like I need a creative break. And that's when I channeled into content creation on Instagram, because podcasting, if you listen to the podcast, especially season 2, it was very intentional. I used to script the episodes, I used to research, I used to, go deeper and do the work that is needed to be done. I've always wanted the podcast to be more of a place where I'm having conversation with people, not just me talking like this. I would much rather have a conversation with someone And I didn't have the bandwidth to do that then. And even now, I'm still figuring out how to do that in a more sustainable way. And then I took a break because I was exhausted. And I promised to come back, but I didn't. But now we are back. The content, in regards to the content this year, honestly, I haven't pinned down what I really want to talk about. All I know is that I want it to be really helpful. The past few months, and I'm grateful, social media for me has grown exponentially, especially on Instagram and TikTok. And there are very specific questions that people ask me in regards to the journey, the process. And I think that's something that I really want to share in this season of the podcast. Sort of give lessons, yeah, but, talk from a personal story. Like if it's dealing with insecurities, how did I deal with them? Because I had and I still have insecurities, but how do I mask that, so to say, So that would be so dope if I can give a story from my own experience, where the journey began, where I noticed a shift. That would be interesting. So that is what I'm planning, and hopefully I will just nail it down and go through with it. But you can give me suggestions on the comment section. What do you want to hear from Kevin's pod, by the way? And I hope I'll be consistent this year more, so that we get nominated for another award like last year. Next, what led to you starting the mental wellness journey? Why not something else like lifestyle videos? It was 5 years ago now. There's a time, and I've shared this before, there's a time I was really low in terms of like depressed. I needed a channel to just figure things out. Like I was so lost and I didn't know what to do. I started writing. There's so many things that I tried, but then one of the things that helped me was writing. And I started writing down my poetry. And I used to write only when I was sad. So I had to learn how to write even when I'm happy. But I used to write a lot and I found it very engaging. And then fast forward some years later, I stumbled on a self-help book. One of the first books, I think the first book that I ever read and enjoyed and read to the end was The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. Please get that book. It changed my life, honestly. And I think that's when I discovered a new world, if I may, a new world of thinking where you are independent in your thought. Like I was no longer a child. And I think I lived so much in being a child where people were making decisions for me, where if someone I loved let me down, it would hurt me. Going back to your question, I think naturally I felt people should know this information more. So I started reading more books, and then I started putting that on my podcast about lifestyle videos. Who knows, man? The the scope is huge. Is maybe something I haven't tried, but definitely would love to, because I'm more into cinematography, and I feel like lifestyle videos incorporate that to tell a story and mood and music, and yeah. So that is how. Yeah, let me not talk too much. Next, I love how you're so good at different things. Stop. I love how you're so good at different things. So, do you ever feel like you have a lot on your plate? Every time. Okay, I would be lying if I said every time. In fact, sometimes I feel so good that I'm doing different things. These things are things that I just find myself doing. You know what I mean? Like, damn, I want to record a video and put it out and edit it and put it out. I have work tomorrow. I have school the next day. Like I've had people say, I can't be at work because I'm at school. Me, I will hold them both and figure it out. So it's very stressful, obviously. I'm tempted to say it just comes naturally for me to want to be involved in all these things. Have you ever been in an ethical dilemma? If so, how did you go about it? And do you have regrets for decision made? Definitely. I think there are moments I've been in ethical dilemma. Yeah. If I understand what you are asking, I think there are moments that have been very many moments. Do I regret though? I doubt I do. I've done so many things that are horrible. All right, that are bad, not horrible. I haven't mad at anyone yet. When I look back at it, I don't regret because at the state of mind that I was then is so different to the person that I am right now. Ethical dilemma, definitely. But I think it always comes up to which is the less severe. Especially if both things are bad but have to be done. Or they're good in a bad way. Or they are bad in a good way. Like you probably have to tell someone the truth, but you'll hurt them more. If you make a decision and it doesn't work out, just forgive yourself. I think the most maturity comes when you are able to forgive yourself. To understand that that's not who you are. Like you can do better. And you did. So all you have to do is figure out what to do next. What would you do if the guy you love is way above your standards in terms of money, Kashing, and she doesn't love you back. If she doesn't love you back, she's not your girl, man. Just do away with her or just give her space. In terms of more than money, I think I'd be okay. Because more doesn't always mean that I am incapable of affording to provide or take care of her. I think that's what many people misunderstand. Like her having more money. We could be talking she earns 200,000, I earn 150,000. We are not so much different, you know? She just earns more. You have to ask yourself, what's so bad about her having more money? If it hurts you in a way that you know you cannot provide for the two of you, I think it's a matter of clarity and just talking it out. But if she doesn't love you back, bro, don't even start thinking about money. Just move on. And I've been in that situation, and I've told that story before, and probably I'll tell you guys that story. But, you know, it was a place where I knew I loved her more than she did. And I was okay, because sometimes we chase things that, or we chase people that we think we might like, or we force an ideal fantasy. But it wasn't working out, and I was at peace letting her go. So I would advise the same for you, brother. Choose what's best for you in the long run. Don't stick around. Next, how would you feel if your girlfriend has a male best friend? That's a good question. First of all, I'm supposed to be her best friend. If I'm dating you, I'm your best friend. Okay, if I'm married to you, I should be your best friend. The people we meet had lives before they met us. And that's understandable. Even though they're not best friends, they're really close, you know? Like you find this girl really close with this dude. They used to call each other babe. I think I would respect that relationship. But I would be very clear. I would be like, I don't have a problem with the relationship that you had with this, or you have with this guy. Totally respect it. But for the sake of respect towards me, things like calling each other babe, let's cut that, you know? Let's not do that. Call me instead of him, you know? Like I'd be very clear. Because similarly, I imagine myself in the same situation. If I had a girl best friend and then I get a girlfriend, I would be very clear to this other girl who's my friend, whether she was my childhood or whatever, and I used to call her babe, I'll be very clear. I'd be like, yo, the real babe is now in my life. And, you know, I'm not saying I will not be calling you babe because now I hate you. It's just out of respect to her. Like, she's my darling. Respect the relationship that she has with that other guy. But just be clear. Like, just speak, you know. Clarity is everything, man. Just speak clear and say, you know, I respect that relationship, but let's now draw boundaries. I want to know what makes Maina who he is. That one thing that is male. I think my whole experience makes me who I am. Like, for example, since I was young, my mom used to like kiss me every morning, hug me all the time. Consequently, why touch is my love language. So I think what makes Maina who he is, just the experiences that I've had in my life, whether bad or good, those are the things that have consequently made me who I am. Next. 4 or 5 years ago, did you envision yourself where you are now? In my room? Yes, I did. Okay, for real. 4 or 5 years ago, I think I did. Probably envision myself, I would be somewhere farther from where I was then. Because I think I always look up to the person that I will be in the next year or in the next 5 years. I always had a hope in my life. Because 4 or 5 years ago, I was depressed, my guy. I was in that point of just a dark area where I used to contemplate, you know, just jumping off a cliff. Like I used to have those thoughts, you know. I used to really have this hope, and I knew like I'm talented. I could tell when I was in front of the camera and I do a skit, I would feel amazing. So I used to just have a hope, like, man, ni opportunity. Like, ni vile time yako tu ijafika, but you know, maybe, and I'm not saying my time is here, it's far from here, but I feel like when I look back, that guy would be so proud that he made it this far. That's a beautiful question. Thank you for asking. How did you get your job at NMG? That's Nation Media Group. It wasn't a job, first of all. It was an internship, but now it's a job. This is a long story, but I've always been passionate. By the way, I do media in university. I've always been passionate about joining the media industry, specifically NMG. I don't know why. I just loved the place. The building with the Twin Towers just looked beautiful. And I thought, why not? I started writing for them years back, when, the opinion section, which is always free for anyone to write. The opinion section, the young reporters section, I used to write when I was 20 and below. I was among the first writers to write for that section. And then I used to go there and take my CV, which used to never be looked at because I was, what are you doing here? Long story short, the time they had an interview, they were looking for some guys to join the team, young people. The interview I did, it was an aptitude test. We all failed, by the way. Fast forward last year, they called me. At a very random day, and they're like, hey, we know you're still in school, campus that is, but we want to offer you an opportunity at NMG. We want you to start as soon as tomorrow. Are you available? At first I said no, because I was like, man, how do I balance with school? And then I consulted with my mentor and my dad, and they were like, are you crazy? Take the opportunity and then just figure it out. That's what I did. So that's how it happened. Like, they just called me. And yeah, boy was in demand. After constantly chasing. And then I just said whatever. And then they called me. They're like, man, you stopped giving us attention. Now you want you. So yeah. Did you take a 2-year break from dating intentionally? You must be an OG follower. I've mentioned this before. The last time I dated, I think right now it's 2.25 years. And did I take it intentionally? I don't think so. In the beginning, I was just heartbroken. And I wasn't ready to get into the game of dating. So I just took a break. And it was really heartbreaking because the relationship I was in didn't even last. And I loved more than I was loved. And that's how the character development 101 was hit. As time went by, priorities became very different. There was a time I had a problem. 2.5 this time, I used to feel like I had to have someone to love me or to have someone to love. I used to feel like I had to have a girlfriend. So if I broke up with someone, I'd quickly get into another. And I wouldn't say it's a problem, but I used to have this habit of falling in love at first sight. So these are things that I've been working on all this period. I still get attracted to people first time, in sight. And I think what I've trained myself to do is that notice that happening. Like, I've seen her and I'm like, damn, I'll marry her. And then you're like, whoa, chill, bro. Just go talk to her. And so I've been having this thing where if I see someone that I feel like I'm attracted to, I'll go talk to them. I'll have a conversation, a 15-minute conversation, and that will tell me whether I am ready to pursue these people or this person. But as years have gone by, or as time has gone by, I've realized I don't want to date at the moment. Like, my circumstances don't fit. Time for dating will come, and trust me, when that time comes, she will be here next to me, and we'll be doing a couples video. Good time. Please talk about time management and how that translates to you having that balance in mental health. Think about time as money. It's very important to just know your priorities. Like, what do we need to do this week? We need to make a pitch. We need to go on a date. That's very important. We need to do this and that. Have those priorities. And then every day just have 3 things, if you do. I've ticked my box. And every single day, plan it. Like, I've had people say, I like the spontaneity. That's okay. I like spontaneity as well. Like, spontaneity will not come every day. Like, if it's a Monday morning, I have to get up early, go to school, probably come back to work. There's nothing spontaneous about that. It's very well organized and planned. I cannot say, let me see what Monday has for me, and then skip school so that I wait for this. No, like spontaneous moments probably come very intermittently. Like, maybe your friend is in town and they want you to grab lunch with them. That's spontaneous and it's good. And you probably have a lunch break anyway. I have a guy that says he likes me a lot, but loving me will be with time. Is that BS? And should I walk away? I see his point. He likes you a lot. I would love to understand, what does that mean? He likes you a lot. Like, I like you a lot. What does that mean? I like you a lot. I would love to know that in a quantifiable way, even though it's impractical. But I love to know what that means. Loving you will be with time. Here's something that probably I'll love to share. There's a difference between dating and being in a relationship. I think the question here, and I think this should be very clear with him. I understand that you like me a lot, but you don't love me. But he has to be willing to let you go, or to be okay with you finding someone else. Because people always say, I like you, because they just want to keep you or make you think that if you try harder, then it's your responsibility to make them love you. I mean, if they like you, what can you do? Unless they're telling you, I like you a lot, there's something you just have to change that now I love you. No. If he's willing to let you go, then it's all up to you now to decide. Are you going to stay and wait that somehow, magically, someday, he will love you? How did you land a role for a new original series by Showmax? That's cool. Oh, thank you. I received a call on a Sunday. Actually, they DM'd me rather. And they said, hi, my name is blah, 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 and there's this role that we've been trying to cast for this major project that we're working on. And I think you would be a good match. Would you be willing to send us a monologue with you? Send me your number. I can send you the beats. And then I send the number. They sent the beats. And then I did a monologue. Did it on Sunday, sent it on Sunday. By 2 p.m. Sunday, I received a call back and they said, you are the person we have been looking for all this time. And boom, I got the role. How do you stay motivated? The life that I want for myself and my kids and my beautiful wife, God willing. Those things keep me awake. What is that one incident that changed your life? Reading The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. And that's it, really. I've answered all the questions that I thought were appropriate to be answered. I hope that you learned something from this Q&A. I'd love to know what you think on the comment sections. Remember to follow the page at Maina on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Go there and check out the content, enjoy it, and tell me what you thought about this video. If you liked it, share it. I can't wait to see you again next time. Until then, take care of yourself and be safe and enjoy and just be you, because your smile warms someone's heart. And if it doesn't, it warms mine. Yep, your smile warms my heart. All right. Adios. Get out of here. Skadoosh. Go. Like I'm serious. Get out.